Welcome back to another episode of RuneScape Dragon Wilds, guys. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know how this audio is. I think it's going to be a lot better for you guys. I figured out what had happened and why I had some of you who actually did care enough to leave a comment to let me know that the audio was a little bit low. And yes, they are correct. Hopefully I've rectified the situation, though. Like I said, I do believe I have. I did some testing before going into recording now. In our last episode, we talked a little bit about getting started, a little bit about things that I wish I knew, which I do have. That first episode of Things I Wish I Knew released. Audio is a bit low, but it's okay because as I'm doing this playthrough with you guys, we are still touching on those things. So we did get our first little bitty house all set up. Well, mostly all set up. I'm going to need to cook some food, and then I'm also going to need to, pardon me, I'm also going to need to make ourselves a spinning wheel. Where are we at? Here we are. Wait, I'm missing something. I'm missing wood. That's right, because last we played, we went through a lot of our wood, if not all of it. All of it. Alright, so let's go ahead and pop some magic to drop these trees. I do have those two up there that are still dropped. We're gonna come chop these down for some wood so we can continue in our building and our progression. We're gonna try our best to not necessarily too quickly, but quickly breeze through to our first tier of armor, or rather gear us up to go into the next zone, which will be just north of us, the swamp. And that way we can start collecting bronze for our first actual metal armor. Now, as I did mention in one of the previous episodes, my least favorite thing that is happening right now is tree gravity. I think it's cool in some regards, but you guys might run into the same issues which I have, which is if you're on a hill, good luck chopping the tree. Just let it go all the way to the bottom of the hill because it's going to keep rolling. I'm OCD, so I'm getting rid of these stumps. I leave the saplings, though. Let me see if I can spot... Sort of, yes, okay. So these guys right here, these saplings, will eventually grow into bigger trees. So if you're doing a lot of wood cutting, which on my other world I do a lot of wood cutting, we have a wood storage or a lumber storage that fills up pretty regularly, and then we use it just as quickly. But if you're doing a lot of that, then you're going to want to leave those saplings so that they regrow, of course. I am really just trying to get rid of these pieces of wood so we can actually try and build a little bit bigger. I have a layout that I actually really favored in my other world that I would like to try and recreate, but maybe with a few additions that will give us effectively a house with every crafting table to current in its in our current state of the game. That way we have access to anything and everything as we're building, and then we can continue building cooler and bigger structures. We're coming up on nighttime, so it's a good thing we have our bed set up. I need to get a staircase set up outside. That's what I definitely need to do. But I am, of course, becoming very hungry. We're gonna go ahead and just eat some red berries here. I don't necessarily want to rely solely on red berries, but oh look, we have our submersible rats over there. Little submarine rodent. But until we get our, which I don't even have it yet, until we get our second cooking station, we're not really going to have a whole lot of anything we can do. to cook these foods into meat stew, because we won't have our 2 ingredients into one cooked item just yet, but that's okay, because we will get to that. So for now, I'm going to hold on to the raw meat, and I'm going to just rely on the red berries. I'm going to cook them, of course, for dried red berries, because as we discussed in our last episode, that will give you more sustenance meter. I want to focus on getting the house built up, and then we're going to need to build ourselves a bow so that we can take said bow and go hunting. If we can kill enough deer, we can get enough bones, which will give us that first set of armor, which should put us at a point where we're at least relatively comfortable to go into the second tiered zone. But I'm going to want to make sure that we have our mining spell available to help us mine the same way we can quickly chop down trees. You can do that with mining as well. So what that means is we're going to need to go mining itself. If we press the K button, we can open up our actual skills tree and see all of our different skills and how far we've come in them. Now, me particularly right now, what I'm worried about is mining, so that we can do, not lift with your hips, rock explosion. Here we are. Level 11 is what we will need for that. Construction is, of course, going to level up as we are building, so I'm not too terribly worried about missing anything in construction, because we'll get there. That's one of the ones that if you really like building like I do in survival games, and especially this game, that's just going to come naturally. So I'm not too terribly worried about this one. It's going to come, and actually if you max out the current state of the game, you get your personal chest, which is super, super, super cool, with no weight limit to it. But for now, we're going to chop down these stumps. We're going to try and focus a little bit on mining. We might pretty up the house a little bit, and then we should have the resources right now to make ourselves a bow. As soon as that stump goes, there we go. Alright. So what we're going to do is not that. Going to build. We'll put the spinning wheel somewhere like here. There we go. And we'll put flax in there. Start spinning that. As that's spinning, I'm going to say grab some stone, because that'll increase our level, which we should actually hit 11 very quickly to get rock explosion. Once we hit rock explosion, I'm not worried about anything else other than making sure that we get a bow so we can push for that first bit of armor. There we go. Alright. So grab these rocks. Rock explosion was just unlocked. If we actually go in here, I can also... Come on, game. Just get rid of those. Alright. So I'm going to place our staircase here. And then something I like to do for my little porches and decks is I'll take this little wall here. Well, that's not what I meant to do. That there, that there. As you can see, my skills are increasing. So I'm going to need to flip that fire around. I do wish the game would actually tell us a little more about where items are outputted. And what I mean by that is obviously where it's throwing those items. Because I would like to be able to say, oh hey, that's the front, that's the back. It's going to throw things out the front, of course, not the back. So I'd like to be able to place it down knowing exactly where my output is going to be. Unfortunately, that doesn't exist yet. But if you just pay attention to where the items plop out, kind of look at the orientation, just flip it if you're OCD like me. But after we do the small walls, what I like to do for my hand railings is go to the thin beam there, plop one down here, and then just follow it like an actual railing. Boom, boom, boom. Alright. We've got some more decoration, coarse thread, pan rack. All cool things that we will use eventually. Right now, we need basic house that will get us going. So, let me go back here. Horizontal beam. Put you there, you there. Last but not least, you there. Alright. Rats. Grab stamina. Okay. Notice the rats don't give us the bones, which is why we need that bow. Which we now have the ability to craft. So we're going to craft ourselves a little ash short bow. Put it right there. I usually always keep it right there. And of course we're going to need arrows. Fang arrows are going to be your early game easiest to craft. I'm just going to craft a whole stack right now, stacked up to 99. That way we have some ammunition. And we can go ahead and start hunting some deer. These suckers are fast though, so we're going to need to be precise with our aim and patient more than anything. Put some more of that in there. That's going to turn into some dried red berries. And then we're going to go looking for some deer. Typically, we will find some around. Now, I've personally found more luck finding deer early in the morning. I guess that's like dusk would be right. Yeah, that's dusk. Okay. That's typically where I've seen the most deer. Deer are going to drop us antlers, which is good use in later game crafting, especially for masterwork weapons. Specifically a bow that is one of my favorite bows. Gives you decreased draw time so you can get those arrows out faster, and then it's just a matter of are you good at aiming or not. So hold on to the antlers as you get them. It'll of course give you animal hide, just about all animals do, unless it's a chicken, and then it gives you feathers. And last but not least, animal bones, which is the number one thing that we're looking for right now. That is what's going to get us the ability to unlock and craft our next set of armor. Did I just see? I did see, I think. Yeah, I think just over those rocks over here might be a deer. No, it's a cow. Of course it's a cow. There we go. Alright. Critical shot, so that way we instantly took him down, which is great. There we go. We got our tannery and cooking pot available now that we grabbed our first set of animal bones. We're gonna need to keep collecting those though. If we go into build mode, you'll see tannery requires 4 animal bones and I need 3 for the cooking pot. Cooking pot is exactly what we were just talking about a second ago. That will give me our ability to craft meat stew, which is why we've been tracking down these chickens for meat and vegetables for, of course, the second input ingredient. Where, oh where are the rest of the deer? I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen so little deer. I wonder if I go up here though. So just up this hill on my other world, not the world that we're doing for our playthrough, but on my other world, just up this hill is where I actually chose to build. It's right by water. It's a really nice place. Oh, I just lied to you guys. It's almost over here. It's actually right over there. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, because it's right here. So I'm just in the wrong place. We're gonna buffer our fall a little bit here. There's a vault here, so we can actually, if we grab a vault core from there, we can get the ability to make a teleporter. Okay. There we go. We can make a lodestone for teleport purposes, which is fabulous, and we definitely should be doing. But I want to get that first set of armor first. That set of armor is going to come in super handy before we step into a vault. Because if we step in naked, it's going to be a little more challenging than it should. Vaults are pretty quick and easy to get through, as long as you just take your time through it, especially if you don't have armor. But if you've got armor, you're not going to have too much difficulty. I would like to see them implement some more enemy types and maybe even more layout diversity in the different vaults. Oh! My goodness. Excuse me, sir. There we go. It's not very nice of him. Straight up Leonidas Spartan kicked me. Alright, we're going to use that wind step again because we're going to go through there. Here. Chop these vines since we can now. There we go. That'll give us a decent amount of wood. And there's a chest in here. Wooden barrel. A simple broken bow. We'll go ahead and grab that. Don't really need this one. As you can see, it says cannot consume at the top, so there's nothing I can do. I'm just going to destroy it just to make sure that it doesn't stay in that chest, and eventually that stuff will respawn. And until it does, we're just gonna go keep looking for some deer. We're at 4 bones right now, so right now we could make a tannery. We can get a few more bones. We can go ahead and get ourselves a, oh hello, there we go, that's pretty nice. Get ourselves a cooking pot as well. So now we're up to 10 bones, and I believe, no, go. Oh, I almost lost that deer there. Like I said, they're fast. I'm not going to pick a fight with those goblins. I did hear them. But we're just going to go run back to where our current temporary house is. And we're going to make ourselves a cooking pot. We're going to make ourselves a tannery. And briefly talk about workstations and whether they should be in or outdoors, because the game does actually help you understand that. Yes, give me that cooking XP. I love it. Alright. So if we go into build mode, we've got must be exposed, the campfire. There at the bottom, just under your requirements, it'll tell you whether it needs to be exposed or if it has to be inside. So, for instance, spinning wheel requires shelter, campfire must be exposed, cooking pot must be exposed. So I'm actually going to replace my campfire with my cooking pot. And this one's pretty straightforward on where the front is. And because of the way that I do my railings, I always forget that I need to do a little bit of finagling to get it to actually look decent. So, put that in right now, and then I'm going to go fix my railing. So we're going to go back into walls. The collision, I guess, is just a little too big for the way I do it. I still did it too big. Or rather, it is still too big. Unfortunate. We'll fix it in just a moment, though. I'm going to let that cook. And in the meantime, we're going to put a tannery down. If I can actually press the right button. There we go. I need more logs. Should be easy enough to acquire. We do still have a tree over here that we need to chop. Those rats might come after me. It's okay if they do. As we're wood cutting, okay, my axe is almost broken. It's okay. We'll have to repair it when we get back home. As we're wood cutting and our level goes up, we should eventually gain access to a spell called Splinter, which will help us in speed and efficiency of collecting wood. Gonna go ahead and finish these out. Hopefully the durability lasts. I don't know if it is. I'm looking up at my hotbar and it's looking a bit grim here. Can we make it? I did not mean to take that sapling out, but that's okay. We can make it. We did it. Okay. So I've got wood now. We're going to run over here. Go back into build. Get our tannery going. Plop you down right there. Yes, I forget to check the same things that I just told you guys about. This one requires better roof coverage. Now, something that I have found out and experimented with, which if you ever see some of my other clips that briefly show the other world, I'm going to show you guys here too. If I have enough wood, rather, I'm going to show you if I have enough wood. When it requires coverage, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be indoors like in a completely enclosed house. What you can also do, if you so choose, to make things look cool and also like they, I don't know if belong would be a good word, but when I think of a tanning hide rack, I don't think of something that I would necessarily want in my house and living quarters, so I think of something that would go outside. And what we can do is, if I can come around here, there we go, I can do this, and put a roof over it. but I don't think it's going to look too terribly good unless we do it this way. I like to have aesthetically pleasing builds because it makes my OCD happy. So now we're going to go to roofs. We're going to go to a 45-degree roof. And then I'm going to do this little number. Come on, there we go. That little number. Now, could I have done a 30? Probably. Probably actually would have looked better too. Let's take a look. We're going to put a 30 here. If we did a 30 here, yeah, that would look a little better. And then we'll go back into pillars. We're going to do a full vertical pillar here. And do one on the corner of the house too, just so it looks like it's supported. And now we should have enough coverage, which we do, to be able to start processing some leather. Then we can fix this over here. But in order to fix this, because the collision of the cooking pot for whatever reason is just massive. I mean, it's thick. So for whatever reason, it is a big collision box. So I'm gonna have to bring it in probably about right there. I know it's not much further, and it doesn't look like it's much further because it isn't. It just needs to be enough that I can get away with that again. And then this guy. Here we go. And now I can go back in here. I've got my leather working. Am I going to be able to take... Oh no. That's not good. Oh man. I love it. So I can't take that that pile of wood that's on the ground because I'm going to have to do it that way. Now we'll go back into here. Pop you down. Why? Why did you do that? No, 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 no. Here we go. Now we'll go back in here. And we should, there we go, have some reinforced armor unlocked. Reinforced armor is going to require some animal bones. Now, what I personally have found to be handy as we play, and of course cater to your own play style, I like having a chest piece to get set bonus of block stamina cost reduction. I don't necessarily go for a full 3 pieces bonus. I actually go for 2 magic armor pieces and 1 melee armor. Ranged isn't bad. I haven't found a whole lot of stealth usages in the game just yet, but the fact that they've given us stealth speed means that we should see something that will be stealth related, so I have no doubt that that will come. But cater and tinker with armor pieces as you guys like to play. I just know that I prefer to do usually a chest piece for melee, and then I'll do like a head piece and legs of magic, specifically for the magic conjuration time decrease and the stamina regen delay. Stamina regen delay is huge because as you're running from stronger enemies later on, you're going to want that stamina to come back, and you're going to want it to come back fast. So I usually like to have the 2 out of 3 bonus, and then since I'm not necessarily doing a whole lot of stealth like I just talked about, the only other bonus for tier 1 that will give me anything beneficial is going to come down to melee. So that's the way that I like to set up my armor, and that's the way I will be setting it up. We just need to go hunting again to find some deer, but as you see, we also just unlocked quite a number of different things. So we've got our bone dagger and our stone dagger. We've got ash battle staff for our mage purposes. We've got bone club. The bone pickaxe is going to be actually the one that we're going to get next before we step too much into armor, and that's because we'll need it for collecting copper and tin for bronze. Then the armor is going to help us survive a little bit longer in that next tier zone. So they're both things that we're going to need, but in the order of operations, I'm going to go for the pickaxe first, then I'm going to go for the armor pieces. But for now, we're going to end out our episode here. We've gotten unlocks for our next bits of crafting stations, so I'm going to end that out here. We're going to make the armor and do the hunting in our next episode so that we can then push up north into the swamp area and then further beyond so we can grab some copper and tin for bronze. I hope this audio ends up being a lot better for you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying tagging along, and hopefully you're learning a few things. I know that I had to learn as we go, so if you're just stepping into it, hopefully this is helping you out a lot. I know it's super fun for me, but I'm just addicted to this game. It is truly, truly, truly a very fun and very addicting game. But we will see you guys in the next episode.